Hi, this is Jonathan with VORTEK Spaces. Today let me show you how to obtain a very realistic daylight setting for your VORTEK Spaces project. So this is a project where all of the materials have been applied already. There's a skybox with exposure. First thing I will do is go here in the ambient light setting and cut the intensity by half. So we'll just go to 0.25 in the project. Then I'll also adjust, the temperature to make it a little bit colder to match, like the blue sky that is outside of this room. Then I'll go here in the sun setting, make it a little bit more intense. In this case, I'll go to number 2, make it a little bit warmer while I'm here as well. So in this case, again, this is like a blue daylight scene. So we'll just go around 5000 K for the temperature. For the direction, I'll just go and adjust it a little bit so it hits. Give it some nice angles. Make sure it touches like the floor, some of the objects, and creates a little bit more shadow inside of the project. After that, while I'm here, I'll go and adjust the ambient occlusion. Ambient occlusion will be shadows that you see in the corner of the room. So I'll just increase the intensity here and go to 0.4, and same thing for the radius, just to increase a little bit and give more depth to the project. So now that those settings are done, next step will be to start adding lights in the project. So in this case, since we have a really bright outside scene, the best way to start is to follow where the light will be coming from in real life. So I'll start by adding lights here using L on the keyboard and adding one light here in the middle of my window. I'll do the same thing here for my patio door. And then, just use Control to select both lights at the same time. I'll use the rotation to give them a 90-degree rotation and make them facing toward the room like that. After that, I'll switch those lights to a point light. And going down here in the list, I'll make the temperature a little bit more cold, because those lights are coming from the exterior of that room. So I'll go to 7000 here. I'll switch the IES light profile, and I'll go pick one here when I go down in the list called 4-2 lamp industrial, using the lights like that. And then after that, moving back those lights a little bit away from the window. So I'll just bring them back, just to remove those shadows like that outside of the window. So, just like that until we have a really nice lighting. So I can bring them, just a bit forward in front of the windows like that. Then after that, I've got 2 other windows in this scene on the back of the room. So I'll do the same thing. I'll just go and add one light here and one light here. Take them all together, move them away from the window, give them a rotation by 90 degrees so it's facing toward in the room. And now instead of going and picking all of the other settings, I'll just go and select the other lights that are already adjusted, and using Control, clicking on those 2 lights. So you see here, like, they will just take the same properties, and now they all can be adjusted at the same time. So here I can put the intensity at 1, and I'll make the range a little bit smaller, because this room is not too big, and when the range is too wide, you'll get to see some weird shadows. So in this case, I'll just go and bring the range to about like 5.5, which is about the size of this room. Those are meters, so that means 5.5 meters. So you see now we start to have like a more realistic kind of lighting inside of the project like that. So next step after that, we'll just go in and follow where the sunlight is coming in the room. So you see in this case, the sunlight is coming and touching the floor. So I'll just go here around the table, and I'll put one light here on the floor. And then after that, I'll switch this light here to a point light. And then since this is to simulate the light that is bouncing on the floor here, I'll just make sure that the temperature is much warmer. In this case, I'll go, down to like 4500. It seems extreme in this case, but then after that, I'll go and bring the range, much shorter. So I just want to make sure that this area seems to be, brightened by this light here, and just readjust a little bit the intensity to 1 in this case. For this light, I can also raise it up a little bit away from the floor and from the cabinet like that, just to make sure that we don't see any artifacts. Sometimes when those point lights are too close to an object, you get to see like a square reflection here. So the trick to avoid that is just to move it away from the object until you don't see, that light anymore, like that. After that, when we go around the room, we'll notice that there's a lot of sunlight appearing here on the floor in front of that patio door. So in this case, I don't need to add many lights, just one light here kind of in the middle. Same thing, I'll just go and switch it to a point light, and then I'll bring it up to about like half the height here, or maybe a little bit lower. In this case, because like the light is bouncing on that floor, I'll make it a little bit warmer, but maybe not as much as the other one. So in this case, I'll go to like 5.5, and then on that patio door, what I'll do also is change the range here to a smaller range. Like that. So now that we've taken care of all the lights, coming out of the windows, what I'll do is just go around the room here, and you see there's a light in the corner. So what I'll do, I'll just add one light here on that table, switch it to a point light. This light here will have like a very short range, like maybe like 2.5, because I just want to make sure that I'm lighting up this corner of the room. Bring it down to 1 here, and then temperature, I guess, is good. In this case, I'll move it a little bit away from the corner. So sometimes you just need to play a little bit with the light and position it until you don't have undesired shadows in the corner. Just like that. In this case, also, you see like we have some light bouncing on the couch, so it would be a good idea to go and do pretty much the same thing here. So another point light. This one again, I can make it a little bit colder because it's like white light bouncing there. Again, put like a shorter range. In this case, maybe like 2.5 as well. And this one I can also bring up a little bit, so it's brightening up the whole corner of that room, just like that. Now, if we look around the room, like the scene and the lighting looks pretty natural. But in real life, all of that light on the right side of the project would kind of be bouncing on the left side. So in this case, it's a bit too dark in this left side of the project. So what we'll do here is add one more light on the floor. Sometimes, it's just easier to place the lights on the floor than putting them on the ceiling when you want to put it in between two different items. This light, I'll also go and switch it to a point light. This one I'll already put a little bit warmer as well, because like this corner of that room is a little bit warmer as well. I'll bring it up here about eye level maybe in the project, so just like that here, and I'll bring the range down again, to remove all of the unwanted shadows on the other side of that room, like that, just like that. And then finally, if I want to make sure to add a little bit more brightness to the overall project, instead of going back and trying to play with the ambient light or the exposure settings, what I'll do in this case is just add one more final light on the ceiling of my project. Then I'll take this light here and switch it to point light. I can change the range as well in this case, because like the whole room is not that big, so I'll just go like to 3.4 maybe. I'll keep the intensity at 1 here. And then the only other thing that I'll do special with this light is that in the shadow type, I'll just go and put none here. So when I do that, the light will kind of go through all of the object and just making sure that there's like an overall lighting in the room. So like this one, I'll just move it away a little bit from the ceiling like that, and adjust it finally. And there it is.